All right, Stepsons, I am out here with a friend of mine, Tristan. Say hey, Tristan.
Hi.
And we are going to show you how to set up a tent. The first thing you do is pick a spot, right? Where you're going to set it up. A spot where it'll fit, shade if you can get it, because if you don't have shade in the sun in the day, it turns into a little bit of an oven, right?
Yeah.
So you've got a good spot here. It needs to be big enough for the tent. And whoever put this away last time knew what they were doing because it fits in there nicely.
Yep.
So what's that one?
This is the tarp.
That's the rain fly or the tarp that goes over the top. So
Yep.
we set that aside to start with, right? All right. So we'll get it out of the bag. In here, so this is the tent itself.
Yes.
That's the poles. Are there stakes too?
Yes, there are stakes.
The stakes will be in that bag as well, unless whoever put this away rolled them up in the middle. So we'll just spread it out. You want to find where the door is, and here's the door on my side. So
yep.
Where do you want the door? Up that way?
Yeah, let's rotate it.
All right. We need the stakes next.
I'll pull them out. These are the stakes.
They're nice stakes too. So with 4, you want 2 on the side of the door for sure. We can do 2 there, and there might be more inside once we pull that out.
Yeah.
You don't want to go straight down because then it pulls up straight. You want to go perpendicular to the direction the force of the pole is going to be. So the pole is going to come this way, so you want the stake to go in at an angle like that. And this is pretty rocky soil. When you're putting those in, then you want to pull so the tent is snug. The floor of the tent is snug. So when I put this one in, I'm going to pull it snug that direction, do that angle again, and then hammer this one in. Good. These poles, they're usually a fiberglass pole, so they flex. And then they put bungee cord in between them so that they stay together when they're collapsed. How do you put these together?
You put them in these holes.
So one side has a male, the other side has a female. You put them together, and the bungee cord helps pull them together. And then you hit the guy you're setting the tent up with.
Whack.
Whack. Once you've got them extended, depending on the tent, some tents have a sleeve that it goes through, and others just have hooks that hook on. So if we look at this tent,
they have holes and hooks, I believe.
Both. Okay, so if we were to do this one first, let's take that pole you've got, thread it through here first.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you put it in the corner at the end, so it's got little pockets, and we'll do close-ups of those.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Cameraman. Okay. So that comes through here, and then it feeds through the one on the opposite side.
Yep.
So there's 2 clips here, and they just snap on this. So this tent has a little pocket for the leg to go in, and a little rubber part on so it's not too hard on it. So right by the stake, that goes there. These clip on, and then we push it through.
And then you stick it through here.
You do that same thing 3 more times. And you've got the dome tent up and functional. We got 1 more to go this way, but we haven't put stakes in those corners. So put it through that loop here. We're going to hope that's good enough. Once we get the pole in, the pole will put pressure on this too, so it should stay roughly where it's at. So we need that last pole, and now we got to feed it through this way. So now I'll tuck this one into the pocket. Perfect. And then snap those on. Let's put that rain fly on. So this is like a little umbrella that goes over the top. And these will hook on the middle part right here. For this tent, there's a little loop, and the hooks come and hook in that loop. All right, so now the tent's set up. This is some pointers from Stepdad. After you've got it set up, the next thing you want to do is take your pole bag and your tent bag and put it inside the tent. And then it's all ready for you when you're going to take the tent down. So now you know how to set up a tent with Tristan's help. Thank you, Tristan.
Yep, anytime.
If you look at the Map to Manhood, one of the things that you have on that Map to Manhood step is to go outdoors and do an outdoor activity. Setting up a tent is something you're going to want to do. One thing we didn't do when we set up Tristan's tent was put a tarp down. Now you don't have to put a tarp every time, but if you have one, it's a good practice because it becomes a barrier for moisture from the ground coming up into your tent. There's one thing to keep in mind when you're using a tarp. You do not want the tarp to go out further than the base of the tent. You want it to go to the edge of the tent but be completely covered by the tent. The reason is if it rains and the rain runs down the tent and lands on the tarp, it's going to seep underneath the tent and it defeats the whole purpose of having a tarp in the first place. Once you've got your tent set up, you're ready to roll out your sleeping bag and have a good night's sleep. But don't forget, after you've slept, rolling up your sleeping bag can sometimes be a trick. So make sure you watch this video to learn how to roll up your sleeping bag. And always remember the two messages from every video. You can succeed even though your dad may not be in your daily life. And you've got a dad that loves you because this dad loves you. And I'll see you on how to roll up your sleeping bag.